Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Operation Antifragile's foundational breathwork course. This is something just kind of starting out with it, but one of the things we're currently building is a full educational curriculum covering topics like breathwork, mobility, strength training, the works, everything we do with Operation Antifragile. So hopefully this video is simple and informative. The goal is to not overwhelm people with advanced techniques right away. That's usually a mistake that a lot of beginners make. The goal is to build awareness and give you some practical tools that you can actually use in everyday life. So if you have some questions after this, feel free to hit me up, but I'm going to try to go through this fairly quickly so you can get to like the practical application portion of all of this. But yeah, breath work is one of the most powerful and accessible tools we have for influencing the nervous system. It is literally the key to your nervous system. It's one of the few things that we can take control of, but is also automatic. So a lot of people kind of check this stuff out of, breath work. Oh, whatever. I know how to breathe. But when you sit down and really focus on it and have people, find their breath IQ or their Bolt score to assess their CO2 tolerance, usually people will be pretty surprised to find out that they're actually not that good at breathing or controlling their breath. Even doing a simple box breathing drill can be difficult for people. So slow down a little bit and let's focus on the foundation before you jump into all of the advanced stuff, and you're going to be much better off. So it is one of the fastest ways, like your breath is one of the fastest ways to influence stress, your sleep, your focus, performance, recovery, all of these things. The way you breathe affects your heart rate. It affects your blood pressure, your emotional state, muscle tension, even digestion is influenced by your breath. So it's really something that you want to pay more attention to and make sure that you have proper mechanics. So I often use the analogy of lifting. So it's just like if you're wanting to get stronger, but you're doing all of your exercises with horrible form or only little half reps, you're not going to get better. So think of your breath work as the same way. It's just another training movement, essentially, and you need to make sure that you're doing it properly before you get into the advanced techniques. So again, the goal isn't to just breathe more. The goal is to breathe better. So again, it's not always just real fast-paced stuff. One of the best things you can do is actually a slower, focused breathing, which I call HRV breathing. It's where you breathe at a resonance rate, which is about 5 to 6 seconds, a cadence of 5 to 6 seconds. So about a 6-second inhale, 6-second exhale. And when you do that, that's when several things begin to happen physiologically in the body. The breath starts to synchronize more efficiently with the cardiovascular system. The heart rate begins to fluctuate more naturally with each inhale and exhale. And that's going to improve your autonomic balance between the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. So when you do this focused breathing, even just 5 minutes can make a big difference. Then when you're not focused and you're not paying attention to your breathing, you're going to start to breathe better, more naturally. So just taking the 5 minutes out of your day to do a little bit of just slow, regulated breathing is going to make a huge difference in your health and can greatly affect your performance as well. But again, you got to make sure it's proper breathing. So you got to be breathing with the diaphragm. If you're not engaging the diaphragm, that's not going to be engaging the parasympathetic nervous system. It's not going to be stimulating that vagus nerve. So some things you can do to help is you can get a light resistance band and put around your diaphragm, or even just your thumb and fingers around here. I don't know if you can see me down there, but and then also you can lay on your back and put one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest. And as you're breathing, try and make sure your belly is rising, not your chest. If you're breathing inefficiently, so say you're trying to slow yourself down, but you're doing primary chest breathing, that's sympathetic. So you're kind of fighting yourself. You're slowing down, but you're still using the wrong muscles. That's going to be getting to where you're having more of a sympathetic tone than parasympathetic. So again, proper breathing, proper mechanics plays a big role. Nasal breathing. The nose is huge. That's really what we're supposed to be using mainly for breathing, at least when we're at rest. So the nose is designed for it. It helps filter the air. It helps humidify it, warms it up. It actually improves oxygen uptake and distribution as well throughout the body. But mouth breathing, especially during stress, that's going to usually lead to shallow chest breathing. So you're not getting as much oxygen delivered, increased tension, so more muscle tension, an elevated heart rate, poor CO2 tolerance, all these things that just kind of jack you up. So just be aware. Awareness is the first step. If you're sitting here watching this and you realize, oops, I'm breathing with my mouth, then try to make that switch. And again, doing the more focused nasal only breathing will make it to where when you're not focused, then you're going to be breathing through the nose. All right. So again, diaphragmatic breathing, belly breathing, that's foundational breathing mechanics. All right. So the diaphragm is your primary muscle of respiration, but most people aren't using it. I like to use the analogy of lifting. So it's like if you're bench pressing and you take your pecs out of the picture. All right. So that's what a lot of people are doing with their breathing, essentially, because they're not using the diaphragm, and it's like just using your triceps. All right. You're not going to be able to lift as much. So you're not getting as much oxygen. You're not being as efficient with moving that air in and out of the lungs. And it is a muscle. So when it doesn't get used, it gets weak. So I like to train it. I use the O2 trainer. You can also train it with other advanced breathwork techniques. But the main thing is you want to make sure you have good posture. All right. And then you're trying to expand a whole 360-degree breath. So most people kind of visualize just breathing out forward. You want to be thinking breathing into the sides and the back, because your lungs actually kind of sit a little bit more in the back. So, and then when you can learn how to breathe into these different positions, it's going to help you with lifting. If you're a tactical professional, say firefighter, and you got your SCBA on and you're pinned down, or you got all this weight on your chest, you need to be able to breathe efficiently in the diaphragm, and then you're not going to be as winded or as tired. You also won't be sucking down on that bottle as fast. So again, I like to sometimes combine where you breathe in the nose, out the mouth. That's totally fine as well. It's just another way to kind of balance things, but you want to be thinking of the why and the how. So if you want a little bit more like sympathetic activation, then you could do a dynamic like mouth only breathing to kind of get things ramped up. If you're trying to wake up, get ready for a workout. If you're trying to balance yourself out, in the nose, out the mouth. Do like a 4-second inhale through the nose, an 8-second one out the mouth. That 1-to-2 ratio is key for getting in a more parasympathetic state. But it just depends. I don't want to get into all of the different advanced stuff. I'll do that a little bit later. But as you can see, the key thing is with that diaphragm, it's widening the rib cage. All right. So we want to visualize that when you're breathing, that you're trying to expand and push that out. All right. So hopefully that just having that kind of mind to muscle connection will maybe help you out some. So one of the first foundational drills I like to give people is box breathing. All right. It's a simple drill. This helps you build awareness, control, focus. I think it's kind of a one-stop shop where you can improve your breathing mechanics, your CO2 tolerance, while also just building awareness, because you're inhaling, you're pausing for a bit, you're exhaling, and then you're holding that for a bit. So you're doing a hold with full lungs and you're doing a short hold with empty lungs. And that makes a big difference. And you kind of learn how you feel and all that. And you also learn how to focus your mind. When you do this stuff, a lot of people think, they're totally messing up. They're thinking about other stuff. That happens. We're humans. And this is just another part of training, essentially. So it's mind training. If you see your mind starting to wander, you're thinking about other things, it's okay. Just focus back in on the breath and try to go back into it. So for box breathing, you want to essentially visualize a box. You inhale for about 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale 4, and then you hold for 4 again. And then you just repeat. As you get better at this, what I like to tell people is for week 1, do a 4-second box breathing drill. Week 2, 5-second. Week 3, 6-second. Go back if you need to. I do a ladder box breathing drill where I'll do the first round is 4 seconds. Next one's 5 seconds, then 6, so on and so forth. And then I'll work my way back down. That's another good way to where you can start to kind of improve your technique and mechanics and slowly build up your CO2 tolerance as well. So after this, I strongly advise you to. I like to use the Insight Timer app. You can also just use a regular timer or another Breathwork app. But 5 minutes. Set aside 5 minutes, and you can either, if you are using the Insight Timer app, you can set a bell to sound every 4 seconds, or every 5 seconds, or every 6 seconds, whichever one you would like to do, and use that to help you cue for your inhales, your holds, and your exhales. Start with just, again, 5 minutes every day. You can do it in the morning. You can do it in the evening. I like to do a morning breath work, a midday reset, and then an evening wind down as well. But you can also do habit stacking. So combine your breath work with mobility, combine it with your morning coffee, do it right before bed, mix it in before training. Try to stack it to something that you're already doing. And again, it doesn't have to be long. Even if you have to start with just 1 minute per day, just get started. That's the key thing, and then start building that awareness. If y'all have any questions, feel free to hit me up. Hopefully, some of the other notes have helped you out too. And let me know if there's anything else that you're wanting to get out of this course. And I'll definitely keep that in mind and can maybe add in something to help you out a little bit more.